So glad you could join me today. It's a beautiful day here. I hope it is the same wherever you are. This is the painting that I'm going to create today. This is the finished product, and I'm going to show you how we got to this point. This canvas here we covered with a thin coat of liquid white. Liquid white is a type of medium that you can put on oil paintings with wet on wet, and it automatically blends it in for you. You don't have to do it on your palette. So we're going to start out with a little bit of phthalo blue. Load both sides of the brush. We're going to start out in the corners. Crisscross strokes. And blend towards the middle. And it automatically get lighter and lighter as you go. I'm going to take some of the same color and we're going to pull some water. It doesn't really matter much what happens now because we'll fill it all in later. I'm going to make sure the water lines are straight. Because if you come in at an angle, it's going to look like your water's falling off your canvas, off your painting, and we don't want that. So after you do that, you're going to take a fan brush take this fan brush and we're going to fluff up and blend in the sky. Just here and there and here. Leave some white areas, some light areas, because that's where you're going to put some of your clouds. And this gives depth to the painting. We'll just fill this in, because we're going to cover this up with land. As you notice, it gets lighter and lighter towards the horizon. And that's exactly what you're looking for. Let me clean the brush off a little bit. Fluff it up. Get all those different textures in the sky like you see, like you normally see. And the sky is never perfect. It's always got different shades, different colors, and that's once you start painting, you learn that, and you start looking at skies a lot differently than what you did before you painted. You see the clouds different, and the textures, and the colors, and the grass, and the trees. It's all a good thing. I'm cleaning my brush right now. We're going to go to a fan brush. We're going to load it up with liquid white and some titanium white. We're going to put a few clouds in. Circular motion. All you're worried about is this top edge for right now. Decide how many clouds you want and where you want them to be in your painting. Now you're going to take a dry brush, 2-inch. We're going to blend the bottom. Just barely blend it. Don't want to touch the top yet. Now you just want to take it and fluff it up. 2 hairs and some air. Go back to your fan brush, fill it up with more paint. And we're going to make another layer. Maybe one's here. You can make as many as you want or as few as you want. If you look in the sky, it's always different. There's always different clouds and different shades. And a little bit more. Maybe that one's like right there. And wherever it is, that's where it's supposed to be. Because this is your world. Okay, fluff it up. Take some more titanium white, liquid white. And maybe this cloud comes over here. Take the 2-inch brush and fan it in. Fluff it up. Once we've done that, we're going to take some alizarin crimson, beat my brush, cleaning it off as clean as I can get it. Just a little bit of crimson. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the sky right here. To get the hue look. Maybe put some in the water. Now we're going to blend that in. Fluff it in. Just barely though. Barely fluff it. Bring it together. Now we're going to make a mixture of titanium white, liquid white, some more, a little bit more, make another cloud right here, and maybe another one right here, so wherever you want it to be, just push it in. Take your brush, blend the bottom in, fluff it up. Two hairs and some air. Now we're going to take the palette knife and we're going to mix a mountain color. Because if you see at the starting of the video, we have mountains in the background. We're going to mix in alizarin crimson, a Prussian blue, and a phthalo blue. We're going to get a dark purple color for the mountain. Mix it up real good. Let me clean it off so you can see. We're going to cut across and get a little roll of paint right across the edge. That's what you want when you want to put your mountains in. So right now we're going to have our mountains start right here. See how you did that? Just tap it. Just touch it. Maybe this has got a peak here. Little peak there. Grab some more, a little roll of paint. Maybe over here. Down further. Peak there. We don't much care about what's going on down here. We're going to scrape all that off. All we're worried about is the top edge. This top edge where we're going to create. Blend it all in and make the mountain. This mountain's going to go all the way across the canvas. Don't much care what goes on here either, because we're going to take that and we're going to blend that in too. Want that edge though to be sharp. Okay, after you did that, you're going to take a brush I'm going to pull down the color. Take it from the top and then pull it down on the angles you think. Maybe this is coming this way. See how it gets lighter as it gets closer to the ground? Kind of diffusing it. And this gives you your angles on where you might want your highlights to go. After you've done that, I'm going to diffuse this a little bit. Make a little bit of separation there. And eating my brush there. Now clean your palette knife off and get a roll of titanium whites for your mountains. Put a roll of paint right across the edge, like I did with the other one. Now you want to find out, say your sky is coming, your light's coming from the right here. So you want to just tap it, find out where, and let it just take the paint off. Grab a little bit more. Maybe it's right here. And maybe it's a little bit here where the sun's hitting it just a little bit. Here, there. Barely touching. Barely touching, and you can add as much snow as you want. Maybe there's some back here where the sun is hitting. Maybe on this mountain here. Maybe a little bit here. And you always come back and add more snow to get more breaks. Just about like that. Now you want to take titanium white and some phthalo blue. And you're going to get a blue color, a light blue. You want to cut across it like we did. Just trying to mix the right shade of blue that I'm looking for the shade. Cut across a little roll of paint, and maybe in here you got the shadow. Just barely touch it. Take a little bit more. Maybe here. Maybe here. Wherever you think. Gotta put some over here. You can leave some of it dark though. Doesn't all have to be blended in. You can have some darker colors, which gives it depth. Now we're going to fill up a fan brush with some green color. What we use for the mountain, that mixture, a little bit of sap green, maybe some phthalo green. We want a darker color, but a little bit on the green side. So we're going to put evergreen trees along here. So what we're going to do is have distant evergreen trees, so we're going to tap down. And just tap, just barely where it's touching the canvas. Tap down, straight down. Maybe up over here you'll start out with higher. Higher trees. And make them smaller as you get closer towards the middle. It kind of makes it, adds a little touch to it. I'm going to add a thin little bit of paint thinner, because that'll help stick to the canvas. It'll help stick to the color that's already on there. Because a thin paint will stick to a thick paint every time. And just tapping down, edge of the brush, and just tapping. Start over here. Really doesn't much matter over here, because we're going to be filling this in here with some other. This is going to give you a look of distant trees. Excuse my back. And when you're putting these in, you want to put them at different heights, because trees don't grow all the same. And if you notice, there's that mist that's going to give you separation in between each layer. So you want to just keep on tapping down, getting different shades as you're tapping. Once you started that, once you started putting the paint in, it kind of blended in. Kind of made it exactly what you're looking for. A little bit more. Darken this side in. Wherever you think. Now you're going to take a brush and you're going to tap it in and blend it. You're going to mist it to give you that other layer, misty. It's going to kind of diffuse the bottom of it too. Kind of blends it in. And lift up. Gives you more of the effect of the trees, the tops of them. Mist it. After you've done that, we're we're going to put some more color in, and we're going to make more of a line, more of some landscape with the same colors. I added a little bit more paint thinner to the colors. And what we're going to do now is come in here and tap. And these are going to be, this is going to be part of the land coming down. You use a darker color, and it gives you your shadow and your shape. This can come right over here. Add a little bit more color. This is going to come right over here. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Come down with some land. Keep loading my palette knife or my fan brush so I can get the texture of the trees. And we really don't much care what's going on here. Because we're going to fill all that in. Now we're going to mist some more. Pull up. Cut across. Trying to find out and decide where you want your land at. And all your trees. Take the dark color. And we're going to make your land now. Where your land would be. Just tap it in. Just tap it. Just barely tap it. Take your 2-inch brush, you're going to pull down right where you think the land should be. Right where you made your little lines, your marks. That's going to be the start of where your water is going to be. You can pull that down right into the water, and you can start some reflections of your mountain and the trees. Barely go over. You just want to mist it. We're going to fill this in later here. I'm going to take a palette knife, little roll of paint. We're going to cut in, just barely tapping. Water line. Wherever you think. Wherever you think it might be. That's what makes it fun about painting with wet on wet. You never make mistakes, you have happy accidents. Okay, after we've done that, we've got that pretty much set up the way we want it. We're going to come in with some dark color again. Sticking with the dark color is good. The mountain color, we'll add sap green, phthalo green, more phthalo green. We're going to start out and we're going to put a mountain here, just tapping it. See how I'm tapping? Just the angle you want. Doesn't really matter so much what it looks like, and let's say we're going to put one over here. Just tap it. See that? That starts it. And you just fill it in. Same thing on the other side. We're just going to tap it. Maybe down here, since we're going to have some other trees, we'll tap some land down here. Kind of break it. Make that part. It's okay to have different shades on that because we're going to fill all this in. Once we tap it all in, fill it all in, you can always change your angles. So we're just going to tap all this in right now. But it's all going to change once we put our highlights in. And then you're going to see all the depth. All the depth and the color. And the different shades that you might want to use. You know, the different where the sun's hitting more on one side than the other. You can have it lighter, darker. This is just filling it in. Just a little bit of time consuming with this, but once you get it filled in, you'll see how we start the color process and the shading. And you want to leave some dark areas. And the color we put on here is going to work good because we're going to put the lighter colors and it's going to pull this dark color and mix it. And you're going to see the nice colors that you're looking for. Nice yellows in the grass and little grassy areas growing. And you can change this however you want. Like I said, there's no mistakes. You can change it as you go. Fix the angles. Whatever you'd like to do there. We're going to take the dark color, a little bit of paint thinner, and we're going to put in some trees now. And I'm going to bring the land up to it later after we get the trees in. But for right now, fill the fan brush up, really load it up on both sides. I'm going to take the corner, the very edge. I'm going to start out with to make a big tree. Let's say the tree starts right here. And that's where it should be. Let's make another one here. So all you got to do is tap. Now what you want to do is start at the very top and tap it with that corner. And you're going to go across. And you'll see as I barely tap. And you're going to go across as you think it should look in real life. I'm adding a little bit more paint thinner. You can start on this one. And you can start the branches wherever you want. Leave gaps. That's all good. Because that's the way nature is. Nature is not perfect and there is no straight trees. You just keep tapping. Till you get the look you're looking for. Add your trunk in there. Tap. More paint. Tap it down and it gets darker or darker, and it really doesn't matter much what goes on down here. Okay, now we got 3 more here. We're going to put 3 more. One small one here. Taller one next to it. And one next to that, different size. Do the same thing we did there. Barely tap. Turn the brush around. Tap it. Start out up here. Take the corner and just tap it. Tap it how you want it to look, each branch. Keep loading the fan brush up because it keeps taking the paint. All the way down. Okay, now we're going to load it up some more. Some more of the green. And we got one tree over here. It's going right there. Wherever you think. The corner of the brush. Darker, darker as you get closer to the ground. Just tap it like back and forth. Okay, once you got that done, you take your palette knife and just scrape in right from the very tip. Kind of adds a little texture to it. Here and there and here. Since you got the palette knife out, what you like to do is take the palette knife itself, because you put the liquid white on, you can make sticks and twigs now just by scraping it with this palette knife. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this would take you a lot longer to do with the liner brush. Here you can put them in anywhere you want. After you did that, I'm going to load up a lighter color. And we're going to use cadmium yellow. A little bit of phthalo green. And some liquid white. We're going to get a lighter color. A green color is what we're looking for. And you'll see when we start tapping it. Want to load your brush up on both sides. You see the color it is. Now you're going to look at the highlights on where you think and just barely tap it. Get some more paint thinner, a little bit more yellow, a different flavor. Maybe right here. Hey, leave it some of it dark. Because in nature it's not all blended in. You know, you have some darker spots than other if you look at it in nature. because where the sun's coming in, it's coming from the right. I'm going to make this a little bit lighter, but I'm going to leave that dark in between there, and then darker as you get back here, and maybe darker in the middle there. Just barely tapping. So you're getting your depth now, your angles. That's what you want. A little bit more yellow and some titanium white. A little bit of liquid white. Liquid white thins it out, which is good because it's hard to put paint on painted areas already. Maybe a highlight right here. Bam. See how that worked? And then as you get underneath the trees, it gets darker. Maybe this is a little bit lighter in here because the sun's getting it a little bit. And it's okay, you don't have to fill it all in. You can leave it. You want those angles. You want the lay of the land is what they call it. Load the brush up again, pretty thick. Maybe we can make something right here. Maybe that comes down and blends in. And I'm not going to blend it all in because in a mountain or on a hill, the highlight and it gets darker. And you got the layers. And on this side here, I'm just going to keep tapping in here. So I want to take away some of the paint because when I highlight it over here, I don't want much color. I just want to just take it off. Take a little bit because it's in the shadows. Maybe right there. That's perfect. Right where you want it to be. That should be exactly where it should be. And you just tap it, and what happens is you get a lot of little areas that, like in the beginning I was saying, you don't make mistakes, you have happy accidents. That all looks like grass now, and I just barely tapped it. And sometimes it's not what you're thinking about when you're doing it. Let's make it a little lighter here at the top. Maybe some down here. Get a little bit more depth to it. Excuse my back. So if you look back and you like that setup, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to take some paint off my brush and maybe highlight just a little bit more. Now at home or wherever you're at, you can work on this as long as you like. More detail, more color, more of whatever you're looking for. But for here, in the demonstration I'm giving you right now, we're just trying to show you, and not for you to copy, but just show you how to do an oil painting. What I'm going to do now is to fill some more of this in. I'm only doing that because we want to add some Van Dyke Brown, and maybe the dark color of the mountain. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an area in here and we'll put some snow in. Get a little roll of paint, and we're going to start out like right here and just tap it. And maybe there's some here. Clean your knife off. Take a little bit more of that color, little roll across the edge, and barely tap it like you did the mountains. After you did that, you're going to go back to getting a little roll of titanium white right across the edge here, and we're going to make some snow here, and you're going to tap it like you did on the mountain, and it's going to give you that look. Of some snow that was left behind. Add a little bit more and just tap it. Barely let it come off your palette knife. Once we did that, we're going to get some of the lighter colors again. What you want to do now is kind of tap this in to where the ground looks like it's over and this ain't on top of it. So just put some tapping marks, some highlights up to it, and what it does is it sets it in. Sets it right in to the ground. Then you can come back in and highlight a little bit more if you want. You got that snow, maybe there's some dirt underneath there. And after this, it's almost a finished painting. I like to take a little bit of paint thinner, a lighter color, mix it on a liner brush. What you can do is turn the color and the texture into ink. And I'm going to sign mine in the corner here. I sign mine with my last name. A lot of other people like to use their initials. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Sometimes when you're doing oil paintings and you want to duplicate, you almost can't. I tried duplicating it as close as I could, but it just gives you another angle and another way to do paintings. And if you ever try to do painting, sometimes you can't always do it the same. It's not always going to be exact. I'm glad you joined me today. And my website is www.johnlacroixhobbies.com. And I hope you come back and visit me again. I'm going to be doing more lessons on oil paintings. And I'll do some seascapes with palm trees and some other mountains with snow, snow scenes. And I hope you come back. Have a nice day.